Welcome back to AutoZone, the place where we break down cars piece by piece and talk about what makes them special. Today's video is a little different and honestly pretty exciting, because we're diving into a car that doesn't officially exist yet, but absolutely should. We're talking about a 2026 BMW M4 CSL SUV, a high-performance SUV imagined through the lens of BMW's most hardcore M philosophy. Think of this as a concept-style vision, inspired by the legendary M4 CSL, but reimagined in an SUV body that blends track DNA with everyday practicality. Right away, let's picture how this thing would look rolling toward you. A BMW M4 CSL SUV would instantly stand out with an aggressive stance, sitting wider and lower than a regular performance SUV. The front would likely borrow heavily from the M4 CSL coupe, with an oversized kidney grille finished in gloss black, stripped of unnecessary chrome to keep that motorsport vibe. Those kidneys wouldn't just be for looks either, they channel air directly to the engine and cooling system, helping manage heat during hard driving. Slim, laser-sharp LED headlights would flank the grille, possibly with yellow daytime running light accents as a nod to BMW's racing heritage. Moving down the front bumper, you'd see massive air intakes carved into a lightweight carbon fiber front fascia. These intakes would feed air to the brakes and intercoolers, critical for an SUV carrying this much power. A pronounced front splitter, also carbon fiber, would help generate downforce and keep the nose planted at high speeds. Even though this is an SUV, the design would scream track focus. Along the side, the proportions would be muscular and tight. The wheel arches would be aggressively flared to house wide performance tires, likely wrapped around forged lightweight wheels, probably 20 inches up front and 21 inches in the rear. BMW would almost certainly use center lock style wheels, or at least design them to look motorsport inspired. Carbon fiber side skirts would run along the lower edge, visually lowering the vehicle while also managing airflow along the body. The mirrors would be lightweight M-style units, possibly finished in exposed carbon fiber. Flush door handles could make an appearance, improving aerodynamics and giving the SUV a modern, clean look. The roofline would slope more aggressively than a typical SUV, leaning toward a coupe SUV silhouette, similar to an X4 or X6, but even more performance-focused. At the rear, things would get even more serious. A large roof-mounted spoiler would extend out, helping stabilize the SUV at high speed. Below that, you'd see ultra-slim LED tail lights with a darkened finish. The rear bumper would feature a massive diffuser made from carbon fiber, and of course, the quad exhaust setup that defines BMW M cars. These exhaust tips would likely be titanium to save weight and deliver that raw, metallic M sound. Now let's talk about what really matters. What's under the hood? A 2026 BMW M4 CSL SUV would almost certainly use an evolved version of BMW's legendary 3.0-liter twin-turbocharged inline-6 engine. In the M4 CSL coupe, this engine is already a monster, and in SUV form, BMW could tune it to produce somewhere in the range of 550 to 580 horsepower. Torque would be massive, likely well over 650 Nm, giving this SUV brutal acceleration. Power delivery would be razor sharp, thanks to BMW's advanced engine mapping and turbo technology. Lightweight components such as forged internals, a high-pressure fuel system, and improved cooling would help the engine perform consistently even under extreme conditions. A titanium exhaust system would reduce weight and amplify that aggressive, crackling exhaust note that M fans love. The transmission would almost certainly be an 8-speed M Steptronic automatic, tuned for lightning-fast shifts. Paddle shifters behind the steering wheel would allow manual control, delivering crisp, immediate responses whether you're launching from a stop or attacking a winding road. Power would be sent through BMW's M xDrive all-wheel drive system, with a rear-wheel drive bias to preserve that classic M driving feel. The drivetrain would include an active M differential at the rear, constantly adjusting torque distribution between the wheels for maximum grip and cornering performance. This would allow the SUV to feel surprisingly agile, even with its larger body and higher ride height compared to a coupe. Suspension is where this SUV would truly separate itself from the pack. A bespoke M-tuned adaptive suspension would be standard, featuring electronically controlled dampers that adjust in real time. In comfort mode, the ride would be firm but livable, perfect for daily driving. Switch it into Sport or Sport Plus, and the suspension would stiffen dramatically, reducing body roll and sharpening turn-in. BMW would likely use additional chassis bracing and lightweight materials to increase rigidity. Carbon fiber reinforced plastic could be used in the roof, helping lower the center of gravity. Steering would be electrically assisted but heavily tuned by BMW M engineers, delivering precise feedback and confidence at high speeds. Braking would be handled by massive M carbon ceramic brakes. Up front, you'd have huge multi-piston calipers clamping down on oversized rotors, offering insane stopping power and resistance to brake fade. The rear brakes would be equally capable, ensuring balanced and consistent performance during aggressive driving. Step inside, and the cabin would feel like a race car that just happens to have extra space. Lightweight M carbon bucket seats would dominate the interior, wrapped in a mix of leather and Alcantara. These seats wouldn't just look good, they offer serious lateral support during hard cornering. Red or contrasting stitching would add visual drama, along with illuminated CSL branding. The steering wheel would be thick, flat-bottomed, and wrapped in Alcantara, featuring M-specific buttons for quick access to performance settings. Carbon fiber trim would cover the dashboard, center console, and door panels, reinforcing the lightweight, no-compromise theme. Despite its hardcore nature, the SUV would still pack advanced tech. A fully digital instrument cluster would display performance data like boost pressure, G-forces, lap times, and oil temperature. The central infotainment screen would run BMW's latest xDrive system, offering navigation, smartphone connectivity, and customizable driving modes. Safety and driver assistance wouldn't be ignored either. Features like adaptive cruise control, lane keeping assist, blind spot monitoring, and automated emergency braking would likely be standard, making this high-performance SUV usable and safe in everyday conditions. In terms of performance, a BMW M4 CSL SUV could be terrifyingly quick. A 0 to 60 time in the low 3-second range wouldn't be unrealistic, putting it in supercar territory. Top speed, especially with the M Driver S package, could exceed 180 miles per hour. And unlike a traditional sports car, this thing would carry passengers and cargo while doing it. To wrap it all up, the 2026 BMW M4 CSL SUV, even as a concept, represents what happens when uncompromising motorsport engineering meets modern SUV practicality. It would be loud, aggressive, insanely fast, and unapologetically focused on performance. If BMW ever decides to build something like this, it would instantly become one of the most extreme performance SUVs on the planet. If you enjoyed this deep dive and want to see more high-performance car breakdowns like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. This is AutoZone, and I'll see you in the next one.